I was working for a university, and there were a mixture of men and women on my specific team. We were a small team, but of course the university had hundreds of employees there. But our team, we were very close knit. It was one of the best corporate jobs I worked at. And there was a young lady on the team who opened up to me about her sexual orientation. And I was actually open on my job. Everybody knew I was gay. And everybody was very sociable, real cool. We didn't have much drama on that team or in that particular division, which is a bonus, because it's always some type of drama going on, when you work in corporate America and you're on these jobs. This was, of course, before the pandemic. And I was at my desk, and the young lady came to my desk, and she just asked if she could talk to me. And I said, yeah, sure. So she asked me, well, first, she was telling me that her and the other young lady who was on our team were getting ready to go on vacation. It was summer vacation, and they were going to, I believe, Miami, Florida. And she was really excited about going. And she told me that her and the young lady were going to get a room together. And she said, I'm fine with, going on vacation with her, but I'm a little nervous about being in the same room with her. And I was just, listening to her, and just, I guess I obviously gave her a curious look, because I wanted to know, of course, why she was nervous about being in the same room with her. And she explained to me that this was her first time going to Miami, Florida. And she just really wanted to enjoy herself. And I said, yeah, that should be exciting. I was like, what is your reason for being nervous about having a room with our coworker? I said, are y'all wanting to room together, or did you want to get separate rooms? And she was like, oh no, it was no big deal. We didn't mind rooming together because it would save us some money. And then also we kind of want to stay close to each other because we don't want to get too far away from each other. It's just us two going together. So we kind of want to stay close knit and look out for each other. I said, yeah, that makes sense. And that's when she kind of paused and she looked at me and she said, I'm bisexual. And I said, all right. I said, that's awesome. And she said, well, let's just say the young lady that she was going to Miami, Florida with, to room with, let's say that her name is Sam. So she said, well, Sam, she's straight. She got a whole husband and 3 kids. And she don't know that I'm bisexual. And I was like, does she have to know? And she was like, no, I don't plan on telling her I'm bisexual. I just have a question. And I said, all right, what's your question? And she asked me, how can a woman hook up with a woman? And so I decided to name my video the question that she asked me. How can a woman hook up with a woman? My name is Giselle Wallace, lesbian life coach and author. Here on my YouTube channel, I provide my lesbian perspective. And if that interests you, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, her question, my coworker's question, was a very serious question. And I could tell she needed an answer. And I answered her question. Now, I already knew that she was not interested in the coworker Sam. I knew she wasn't asking that question about hooking up with Sam because Sam is heterosexual and she had no plans on revealing to Sam that she is bisexual. So my coworker, let's just call her Lisa. So Lisa let me know that she's bisexual because Lisa knows that I am a lesbian. And Lisa confided in me and let me know that she's going on this trip. She's going to be rooming with Sam, who is heterosexual, and she doesn't want Sam to know that she's bisexual. And so Lisa asked me, how can a woman hook up with a woman? And I paused because I had an inkling that she was going to start explaining to me why she was asking me this question. And she did. She said, Giselle, I'm going to Miami, Florida. I'm going to have a really good time. And she said, I want to hook up with a woman. She said, but I don't want Sam to know about it. And I don't want to have anything to do with guys when I'm out there. I mean, I can get a guy anytime. I want to experience being with a woman. But Sam is rooming with me. So how can I bring a girl to the room if Sam is there? I'm in a dilemma. So at this point, I said, got it. I said, well, you know what? Is this trip free that you're going to? Like, is the flight free? Is the room free? Is the food free? Is it a free trip? Is it a free vacation? She said, absolutely not. We decided to split the cost. So Lisa and Sam split the cost for this Miami, Florida trip. And they were going to be off for I think a good week. Like they took a week off of vacation from work to go to Miami, Florida. And I said, okay. I said, so this is your first time going to Miami, Florida. You're paying for half of the expenses. And you want to hook up with a woman while you're out in Miami, Florida. But you're concerned about Sam finding out that you're bisexual and you want to know how can you hook up with a woman and bring her to your room without Sam finding out? Is that the truth? And she said, yes, exactly. So I said to her, and I already knew the answer, but I wanted her to just think about what she was planning on doing and really process what she was doing so she could make a clear decision on what she should do. And I said, have you ever been with a woman sexually? And she said, no. She said, but she's always wanted to be with a woman. And she said, well, since I'm going to Miami, Florida, it's kind of always been a fantasy that I go to Miami, Florida. It'll be my first time going. Beautiful weather, beautiful women. I want to just let my hair down and just really have a good time and sleep with a woman. So I said, all right. I said, so let me ask you this. You've already booked the room. You're not able to get separate rooms. And she said, no, I can't get separate rooms. I'm going to be in the same room with Sam. And I said, all right. I said, how old are you? She told me her age. I said, all right. I said, you're grown, right? And she said, yes. I said, you're paying for half of the trip. You and Sam agreed to get this room together. You are an adult woman. And why would you allow Sam to disrupt enjoying your vacation because you're worried about her finding out that you're bisexual? And she thought about it and she said, yeah, you're right. Like, what's the point of me traveling all this way, spending all this money? And I know that I want to hook up with a woman, but I would just let all of that go just because of Sam. And I don't want her to know that I'm bi. And I said, Sam's got a husband. She's got 3 kids. She's living her life. She's not asking you permission on how she should live her life. And yet you're concerned about her opinion of you hooking up with a woman when you're in Miami, Florida. And I said, you don't necessarily have to be with this, bring a girl back to the room with Sam. I can understand if you're respecting each other's space because you're both in the room together. I get that. You don't necessarily have to bring the girl back to the room with you and Sam. But if you do want to invite a girl to your room, well, you can communicate this with Sam. You're both adults and you can just say, hey, I have a young lady I want to invite over and, we might hook up. She might be cool with that. She might be like, girl, do your thing. I'm going to go down to the cafe or the lounge and hang out a few hours and y'all enjoy yourself. Because, honestly, women hook up with women all the time. They do. They're adults. I've actually hooked up with women before. And I know how it is with even other women being around. And they pretty much are cool with it. They're just like, oh, really? Yeah. Okay, y'all do y'all's thing. And it's just really that simple. But I understood her dilemma because she was not out on the job. Sam was under the impression that Lisa was straight because Lisa has a couple of children with the guy. She was with the same guy for the longest. I think they were married and they were divorced. But everybody pretty much believed that she was heterosexual, except for a couple of people who kind of confided in me. And they said that they thought Lisa was into girls. So it's kind of like sometimes you don't think people know about you, but they do know about you. And all I'm saying is at the end of the day, nobody can hold you hostage unless you allow them to. If anything, people are waiting for you to come out. So just be yourself, live your best life, because there will be moments that you had an opportunity to do something that you really wanted to do. It didn't have to make sense. It did not need an explanation, but you just wanted to explore and discover and experience life. But you didn't, because you were worried about how somebody would look at you. You were worried about people spreading rumors about you. You were worried about somebody not wanting to hang around you anymore. But what I appreciate about Lisa is that she came to me, she confided in me, and she told me that she was so glad that she talked to me, because she said, I realized I was going to just go to Miami, Florida, spend all that money and all that time there, a whole week, and just really feel bummed out because I was worried about how Sam would view me if she saw me with a girl. So I'm really glad I talked to you, Giselle, because now I am going to go out there and I'm just going to enjoy myself. And I said, you should. You probably will meet a beautiful young lady, and just because she's in Florida and you're here in Texas, that doesn't mean that you can't stay in touch. And she may not even be from Florida. She may be from somewhere else, just like you're from somewhere else. And if she is from Florida, oh well, she's from Florida. You are an adult, and you should be able to be yourself. And if you really can't be yourself around someone, then do you really want to be around that person? Because here's the thing. Sam knew I was a lesbian. And I had no issues with Sam knowing that I was a lesbian. We didn't have any problems on the team. But Lisa still was a bit afraid. She was a bit concerned that Sam would, I guess, look at her differently, that things would change for the worse if she knew about her being bisexual. Well, here's the truth. No one can control you unless you allow them to. You should have your own self-control, your own autonomy. You should make your own decisions for your life and not base them upon how other people view you, or even how they will treat you, whether good or bad. Because when you do make decisions based on how you perceive somebody else will treat you, then you always end up feeling empty and unfulfilled. So I'm glad Lisa spoke to me. I'm glad that I was there for her to speak to. And I was so excited when they came back. And it was like, you know how you see someone who looks like they aged, like they were carrying a weight. When she came back from Florida, she looked so refreshed. Lisa looked so refreshed. She had like a sparkle in her eye. She had such a good time on her vacation in Miami, Florida. Her and Sam came back looking refreshed. And she told me, thank you. She said, thank you, Giselle. I didn't pry. I didn't ask any questions because I felt like if she wanted me to know anything about her vacation in Miami, Florida, she would have talked to me about it. But I already knew she had a good time. Now, what's the moral of this story? Well, the moral of the story is be authentic. Enjoy your life. You only have one life. Or they say you only live once. Well, I say you only live once on planet Earth, but you live on forever. But you want to live on forever, knowing that you did what you knew you wanted to do. Now, I'm not out here condoning that you go out and be promiscuous, but I am a very realistic person. I am a down-to-earth person. I am a real woman. And I know what the real world is like. And I know what it's like being a same-sex attracted woman in a world who treats you as if you do not exist. All of the pressures to conform to live like a heterosexual woman are very prevalent. And so when you step out and you live the way you desire to live, there is a freedom that overtakes you. And once you experience this type of freedom, you don't ever want to go back. And the truth is, as a woman, as a young lady, as a adult woman, a mature woman, at some point in your life, you are going to desire to be with a woman because you are a same-sex attracted woman. And we all want to be loved. We all want to experience love. And sometimes with love comes our opportunity to be with a woman sexually. There is a need for same-sex attracted love between women. And when you deny that side of you, it just makes you feel very agitated, annoyed, and frustrated with life. So if you meet a woman, she's a good woman, and you both desire each other, you both want to be with each other, then you will be. Just be yourself, love yourself, and be with a woman who is being her authentic self and loving herself, and it'll all work itself out. So I'm not condoning hookup culture. But what I am saying is sometimes we do hook up. And what I've noticed about people who talk about hooking up with someone, usually they're people who are not oppressed about their sexual orientation and their sexuality. And they're heterosexual. So they have, without even thinking about it, the ability to just hook up with someone of the opposite sex, and everybody celebrates it. But when you are a same-sex attracted woman, because of the difficulty of living in a heteronormative life or society, things are a little bit more harder for us to navigate. Because more often than not, you weren't taught or encouraged or celebrated regarding same-sex attracted love and relationships. And so that's why I encourage you to embrace being a same-sex attracted person. Embrace the person who is before you, who desires to connect with you. Because if you're asking the question, how can a woman hook up with a woman? The answer is be your authentic self and present yourself to the woman who you desire. And then just let it flow. There's always going to be a woman out there who desires you. So don't stress about it. Don't worry about somebody finding out about it and going against you because of it. Live your life. Enjoy your life. Be safe. Be careful. And have a rainbow day.